start off with evaluating the Georgia Tech game, and it was a lot. Just what I said Saturday after the game. Our guys played extremely hard. There was never a point where they didn't feel like they were in the game or that they were going to win the football game, and I was proud of them for that point. We've got to do a better job of taking care of the football, offensively, and then on defense. We made some really good plays, but we gave up too many big plays.
What did you like from an execution standpoint, anything that you guys did? Maybe, what couple of things maybe stood out that you feel like this went we wanted to?
Defensively, I would say, one of the things was we felt like we needed to steal some possessions, and we did do that. We certainly created 3 takeaways and stopped them twice on 4th down, so that was really good. Offensively, we executed much better in the second half than we did in the first half. We had 1 explosive play in the first half. We had 8 explosive plays in the second half. So, once we made some adjustments, we played much better.
It has Cade Fortin been added to your out for the season list?
No, but Antoine Green, KJ Sales, and Alan Cater have.
Could you foresee he or even Reuter being healthy enough to play at all for the rest of the season?
Well, that's a great trick question. I haven't listed them as out for the season, so yes.
To sort of follow up on that, they can't really, if they came back, they wouldn't lose a year because of the number of games played. Would there be benefit to, letting them rest and be all the way healthy, or do you want to try to get them reps if they're at all able to go?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't put them on the field if they weren't
Right.
healthy enough to be on the field, so that wouldn't happen. We're not going to put them out there to, if they're 50% and get hurt. So we wouldn't do that for any player. So if they're able to go and we feel like they can help us win a football game, then we would. If not, we wouldn't put them out there.
I guess for their long-term development too, though, I guess you would, if they're able to go, you would like to get them reps.
Every
beyond
rep
this year.
that a kid gets is valuable. Every rep's valuable for their future.
Of the many frustrating things that you've had to deal with this year, is Aaron Crawford's health situation near the top of the list?
Definitely, no doubt about that. There was a guy who, we came out of spring ball extremely high on Aaron, and then we come out of fall camp and we feel even stronger about the type of camp he has, and for him to have played, I don't know what it is, 8 to 10 plays this season, it's been frustrating, not only for me, but for him and his teammates, because they know what kind of player he is.
He was pretty open in the spring and in early August about his personal goals and some of the things maybe he was looking to perhaps do next spring. Now that looks like that may not happen, how has he handled that? How you have to kind of coach him up in that respect?
Well, I think he's done a good job. That's tough on any kid. You're going into your season and your expectations are through the roof, and you feel really good about where you're at and the way you're playing, and then all of a sudden it's taken away from you, and that's hard to handle for anybody. And I think that I think AC has done a good job of that. I really do. He's still involved in everything we do as a team, and he's very much involved with his teammates. He's in every meeting, and he's rehabbing like crazy. He wants to get back out there.
Larry, when you have true freshman quarterbacks like Cade and Chase, is there a criteria that you have in terms of maybe they have to learn 60% of the offense, know it by heart, before they're eligible to play? Is it more based on the feel of comfort level?
No, it's really not it's more about, can they handle enough in the game plan that when we put them on the field that they can be successful. That's the main thing. And so when you've got 2 young guys like we had, it was trying to make a decision on at the beginning of the year on which one do we think is farther along, and then with the amount of reps that you get when you're practicing for when you're preparing for a team and you are putting in a game plan, you're not going to get 3 guys all those reps, so you're going to get 2. and the third guy is not going to get any reps. And so early on, we felt like Cade was a little bit ahead of Jace, so we made the decision that we were going to get Cade ready to play, and that slowed down Jace's development because he wasn't getting those same reps. And then when Cade was down, then we started getting Jace those reps and tried to catch him up as quickly as possible.
So when Cade starts against Virginia Tech against week 7, that's a matter of him showing a significant amount of growth from week 1 up to that point?
No doubt about it, yes. Well, we felt like he was comfortable enough, and he was, he could manage the offense, and he could win a football game for us.
Coach, what kind of emotional lift do you expect this week if you're facing a rival? And is it the kind of lift that can put this particular team over the top after all these close games?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we don't, we expect our guys to be up for every game, but this is a big game. It's a rivalry game. It's a team that's 10 miles down the road, and it's for the victory bell. I mean, and our guys, it means a lot, and it means a lot to our seniors. They want to bring the bell back to Carolina. They want to do those things. So it's there will be, I'm sure, to a man, they'll be more motivated, in some ways or another. But it's still, as a team, us focusing on us, doing the things that we need to do to be better.
To follow up on Greg's question, after Cade went down, I think there was a Virginia game. Why didn't you put Jason earlier? Seeing as how well he played, was it because you didn't think he was prepared enough for?
So when we put Jace in, why didn't we put him in earlier?
Like, I guess the Virginia game. Was it to preserve that red shirt? To be able to preserve that red shirt?
No, we weren't in that position. It was more about, is he ready to help us win the football game? Is he prepared enough? That was all it was doing. It was more about his development than where we were in the 4 games or all of those things.
Among the challenges with the true freshman quarterback like a Jace, who ran the ball a lot in high school and kind of bigger than a lot of guys, used to running guys over, is it getting him to understand that the contact's a little different at the college level and maybe when to slide or avoid some of the contact, perhaps the hit that he had? Is that maybe one of the biggest challenges that you have to deal with, kind of breaking some of those instincts?
Well, one thing you do is you don't really, when you're practicing, you're not hitting your quarterbacks. And so, there's some form of, they don't really get hit until they get into a game. And so they do have to learn the differences of when you need to deliver a blow, when you need to take a blow, and when you don't. And in that situation in the game, I mean, he really didn't need to take that blow, and he could have avoided it, but he's relying on his instincts of being a football player, and he's trying to get every yard that he possibly can. So I'm not going to fault him for that. I mean, but he's going to learn. He's going to learn when you have to do those things and when you don't.
But is that one of the biggest challenges as a coach? You've been coaching quarterbacks for a long time, getting them to break from some of the instincts that worked in high school that may not be wise in college.
Yeah, I'm not going to just say them running the football is the biggest rut, because it's not. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, in some cases you're trying to break some habits and you're trying to mold them into what we do, and at the same time you're molding what we do around what they can do. And so you have to be careful. I mean, there's a reason you recruited them in the first place. They obviously have a lot of ability, and you think they can be successful. So you just want to change and tweak some things to hopefully grow them in the position.
How do you keep pressure from getting overwhelming for these guys at this point that it's been kind of week after week of coming up short? And they're obviously demanding more of themselves. They're probably putting this more pressure than you can.
Yeah, and I've told them I can't ask for them to work any harder. It's not like I'm going to say, hey, let's work harder today than we have, because they're working hard. I mean, their attitudes have been good. I mean, it's just, finding a way. I'm asking each guy to dig down just a little bit more and find something that he didn't know he had, and somebody to make a play in a critical situation that we need. I mean, an example of that would be the 2-point play, where Anthony and Nathan hooked up on the 2-point play to in a critical situation, making a play. And we've got to continue to do those things.
Is there anything common in the Virginia Tech loss, Syracuse loss, and this past loss that you all just aren't getting to get over that hump?
The common thing is that we're extremely close, you know, and, you know, the thing is there have been opportunities in those games in certain situations where we could have put the game away or ended the game at that time, and on both sides of the ball. And we failed to do that in all three of those situations. And so, again, it's you know, me putting them in a position where they can close out those games. And then when they get that opportunity, they've got to close them out. Now, you know, it's easy to point to one play, you know, but there's many plays that lead up to those things, you know. And so it's making sure our guys understand it's not always just one. It might be the opening kickoff that you got your head on the wrong side of a guy, and it prevented us. I mean, we got a great return, but it could have gone the distance. Maybe that's the play that's the difference. And so it's making sure that they understand that every play could be the difference in the game, and that's the way you have to play the game.
So, I mean, I'm trying to learn how to ask this question. So if there's no tangible thing to go get.
Well, if there was, I would have already changed that.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh. So how do you keep their hopes up high if the answer is not that easy?
Well, because they know we're really close. All right, and they know. I mean, they know it's coming. They do. They know it's coming, and their effort's been unbelievable. Their fight, their will to win, all those things there. You can see it in their eyes, and they will continue to battle until we break through and get over the top.
Some of the guys said Saturday the thing that's most frustrating to them is every week it's something different, which is why. So, like you're saying,
It's a game of
if it was
football.
one or two things, you could kind of
Right.
focus on that, get those taken care of, and everything's fine. But they feel like one week they get this kind of taken care of and something else flares up, and then they get that taken care of and something else flares up.
Yeah, because our margin of error is so small right now
Yeah.
that, you know, every mistake that's made is magnified in everything we do. You know, when you're scoring a lot of points and you know, a lot of times mistakes are made and no one ever recognizes them. No one asks why you made that call in that situation because you won the football game. You know, no one asked, you know, what happened on this play. I mean, because they're hidden because you won the football game. Well, we're not in that situation right now. We're on the other side of it where every single detail is magnified. And so we have to cover everything that we can possibly cover.
Is there any difference in your approach as the head coach, you know, with what you just said as far as the team and the position they're in right now this season, having a 1-7 record going into this rivalry game compared to if you guys were like already bowl eligible and your season, you know, wasn't on the line like that?
Yeah, I would like to think that I coach the same way all the time, that there's no difference in the way I coach. I mean, every play, every game, every practice, every rep is very important to me, and I'm very passionate about it, and I want to demand perfection in all those situations. You know, I really can't tell you that I'm going to be able to work harder today or tomorrow than what I've worked. You know, if I could say that, then I would have cheated. I would have cheated these guys in the past, and I haven't done that. I'm going to work hard for these guys, and I believe they know that. They know the way I am. I don't change when I'm on the football field with them. I don't change at practice. I'm the same way all the time. You know, they probably don't like being around me on the field, you know, but that's the way I've always been. That's the way I'm always going to be.
Is there, sort of following up on that, when you have a team that has one win, are you having to coach effort more?
No, we haven't had to do that. The effort, the energy, the will, it's all in those guys. We're not having to do that. We're not having to push them to play hard. We're not having to push them to give extra effort and those kind of things. I mean, you can look at it on film. It's happening, and it happens in practice. You know, and that's, you know, that comes from the leadership within the team.
I would imagine that's encouraging then in the sense that you have a team that hasn't checked out in that regard.
No doubt about it. I think if you watch the game Saturday, you can tell that. You can watch every game that we've played here, and you can see that these guys are fighting. They're scratching, clawing. They're trying to overcome adversity. Their will to win is there.
Is this
How proud
the
does that
hardest
make you?
puzzle you've had to figure out in your career?
It would be easy to say yes, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's you know, it's frustrating that I can't put them in a position to get them over the top right now. That's the best thing I can say.
How proud does that make you though, Coach, regardless of how disappointing this season has been, that you can see their effort, you can see their fight, and obviously it's your leadership that has them out there. How proud does that make you as far as what you've been able to do this year during your coaching career?
Well, you know, it does make me proud because everybody questions why are they playing hard? Why would they play hard? Why would they, they don't have this to play for. They don't have that to play for. I mean, they take a tremendous amount of pride in themselves, first of all, and each other, and their team. There's nobody that wants it more than they do. There's not a fan that sits in the seats or on a message board or anything out there that wants it worse than these kids want it, and that are working harder than these kids to make it happen. My job is to put them in a position so that they can do that, and I haven't done that yet.
Some think they do.
All right, thank you, folks. Thanks, Coach.